My goal for this video is to help you take a little piece of plastic and use it to do some really cool free motion quilting on your quilts. Are you ready to get started? Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Miriam and I am obsessed with quilting. So I'm really excited for this tutorial today because we are going to be using some very cute templates that I was sent by Missouri Star Quilt Company. And we're going to be using them to do two different things today. We're going to make some applique pieces and we're going to use the templates to do a really cute free motion quilting design. Let me show you the templates first. Brace yourself. These are ridiculously cute. The large one I'm going to use for applique, and that is, oh my goodness, it's a poodle. Let me get some paper here so you can see it. But that is the template. How cute is this? So this kind of looks like one of those poodles that you would see on like a poodle skirt. And I really like that it's kind of got a retro look to it. But I'm going to use this to make applique pieces to add to a little mini quilt that I've already got prepped here. Then we're going to use the little version, which I will also hold up here in front of the paper. Isn't that cute? And we're going to use this little version for the quilting. And I already tested it out. If you guys were at my live, or if you watched the replay of it, I did a little hint about using some templates to figure out some quilting, and that's what I was working on. So I'll show you my little sample piece that I made just to practice and figure out what I was doing. So I made two applique pieces, one of the large dog and one of the small. So that works really well for little applique pieces. I just love it. And when you make applique pieces like this, there's so many different ways that you can finish the edges. For mine today that I'm going to do, I'm actually just going to leave the edges raw because I kind of like that look. And I'll be quilting over it and stuff like I did in the sample. But you can also use like a zigzag stitch, you can blanket stitch, you can hand stitch it, you can just stitch around the outline. There's so many different ways that you can do it. But I'll be attaching the applique piece to my little quilt that I made and then showing you how I do that. Okay. And then I'm going to be using, like I said, the little dog for the quilting. And I did that here already on this one. As you can see, I left the ink so you guys could see this a little bit better on the sample quilt. So it just, let me see if you can see it on the back. You can see the little outline of the dog and it's just really cute and sweet and adorable and just really excited. And this, working on this project has really like expanded my ideas of what I can do, what is possible with free motion quilting on my domestic sewing machine. And I'm just like super fired up about it. I'm really excited. So I may be placing a Missouri Star Quilt Company order soon, ordering a bunch of their little templates because there's so many different ones that they have that you can use the way that I'm gonna show you how to use it to do really cool custom free motion quilting just on your regular sewing machine. So if you would like, you can stay tuned till the end of the video and I'm gonna give you the rundown of our next live that we're gonna do. I just did our first one just last week and it was very, very fun. And I'd like to do another one. And this time we will actually be doing some sewing. So if you want to stick around to the end of the video, I will give the whole rundown for that. If you don't know, I am a Missouri Star Quilt Company partner. And part of that is they send me products usually once a month that I can try out and show you guys and kind of test out and make content about. And they also give me a 20% off discount link for you guys to use. So all you need to do is you click on my link, you shop like normal on Missouri Star. Your cart total needs to be at least $50. But if you hit that $50 threshold, you will get 20% off, which is a really great discount. It's really great that they offer that. And a lot of people are getting some really good deals on stuff. You can use it with the daily deals and different sales that they're having. And it's just a really great way to save some money. So if you would like to use that, that link is always in the description of all of my videos. I think we've covered everything we need to cover. So what I need for this tutorial is I need a little quilt. So I made a little mini quilt out of a charm pack that I had that I thought was so cute, and it's got dogs on some of the fabric, as you can see, and the dog looks like my dog Obi. So I was really excited when I found this fabric, and I thought this would be perfect. And I'm actually going to make this little mini quilt for her because she likes to lay on blankets and stuff. So I thought it would be fun for her to have her own little mini quilt that she could lay on and cuddle up on. I'm going to be using this, so I'll be placing applique pieces on the patchwork, which I think is going to look really cute. And to make those applique pieces, I'm going to be using some Kona solid fabric because I just love Kona. I have a bunch of it in my stash. And I had this really pretty bubblegum color. That's the color that it's called. So Kona bubblegum. And it's just a solid piece of fabric. And I'll be using this for my applique pieces. So you need a quilt. If you're making applique pieces, you need fabric for your applique. And then to attach my applique pieces to my quilt, I am going to be using Elmer's washable school glue. And it's a stick. I got the big jumbo one. But you can use the little ones. But I recommend the washable school glue. Any other kind, I don't know if it'll work, okay? And I only use Elmer's because I know Elmer's works. I use Elmer's school glue for basting my quilts, and that's the only kind that I recommend using, so that's what I'm using for my applique as well. This is actually, it is purple when it comes out, and then it disappears when it dries, so that's nice. You kind of know where you're putting the glue. So I'll be using that. And also your machine will have no problem stitching through this glue. So I get a lot of questions about that. This works great for that, okay? Pair of scissors to cut out my applique scissors. I'll be using my Missouri Star Quilt Company Amelia scissors. These cut fabric so well. I had some pretty good Singer fabric scissors, but these are so much better. I'm switching them out because I just really like these, and they're really cute. I like the light blue, and they've got their little Missouri Star Quilt Company logo etched on their scissors, which I think is super cute. And it's got this really nice cover for scissors, so I will link that like in the products section because these are really nice scissors and they're inexpensive, which is really nice. I'll be using those, and then I will also be using my Dritz Mark Begun pen. You guys know that is my favorite marking pen, and it washes out with water and it doesn't come back, which is really great. I'll be using that to mark my applique pieces on my fabric that I need to cut out, and I'll also be using it to mark on my quilt when I'm doing my actual quilting. Let's go ahead and get the camera pointed down at my cutting mat. I had this set up. I had my cutting mat over here next to my sewing machine for the live last Friday, and I quite like this setup actually. So I'm gonna try it for a while and see if I like working just on this side. I think it'll make it a little bit easier when I'm recording, so I'm not having to like move around as much with the camera and things. So I'm gonna point the camera down so you can see what I'm doing here. And let's make our little applique pieces. All right, so I'm gonna set that to the side. I've got my big poodle. She's so cute. And I've got my pink fabric. I think I'm gonna have all of my applique pieces facing the same way. So I will trace them all the same way on the fabric. But I'm just gonna lay that out flat. And I want them to be facing this way. Place my template that way. You can have it facing that way or that way, but I'm going to have them facing towards the right. Now it's just super simple. We just trace out our shape. And I just run the pen along the edge of the template. Super easy. If you would like, you can join our Facebook group. We've got a little over 500 people in there now, which is really exciting. So if you would like to join the Facebook group, please do. We have fun over there. Everybody's super nice and supportive of everyone. And it's just been really, really fun to get to know you guys a little bit better and see what projects you're working on. And it's just a lot of fun over there. Now, all I just need to do is I'm going to trace out my 4 dogs here. All right, so I have my little dogs traced out. So now I'm just going to grab my scissors and I am just going to cut them out. So what I like to do is when I do applique, I just cut just a rough cut around the thing. Like that. Ooh, you know what? I think I cut out too many dogs. Yeah, I did. Oh, that's okay. I can do an extra one. Save it for later. So this is when these scissors are an excellent tool because they're really sharp and they've got like a nice precision tip. So I'm just going to come in and start cutting out my dog shapes. And you could probably do this with a rotary cutter, but I think it would be easier just to do it with scissors. At least to me, that seems like it would be easier. But yeah, you could use this template to add a poodle applique to like anything. You could do it for a bag. You could do it on a jean jacket. You could do it on a skirt, like a poodle skirt. You could do it on a wall hanging, really anything. So there is our first poodle. Isn't she cute? I love this so much. So I'm just going to keep on cutting out 3 more of these. And then I'll meet you back and show you how I glue them down. And we will go from there. All right. So I've got my quilt laid out here on the table. Oops, gotta grab my glue stick here. And I got all of my dogs cut out. I also wanted to emphasize that this tutorial can be used with any of Missouri Star's templates. They have all kinds of templates that are in different shapes. It doesn't have to be the dog template, the poodle template. But I'm just showcasing this one because it's their newest one and it is so cute. So, all right. So now I just need to place my dogs where I want them just so I can kind of see where I want to put them. So I'm just going to play around with the placement a little bit here. Just kind of thinking 1 in each corner. Kind of like that. That looks pretty cute, if I may say so. That looks really cute. I'm wondering if I should cut out that 5th one and put it in the center. Because let's see, what would it look like with a 5th one? Would that be cute? And then I can kind of move these down a little bit. Move these up. It's just fun to play with this type of design, right? Because it's really what you make it. Really, you can do whatever you want. And that's the cool thing about quilting. You just play around and figure out what looks good to your eye. Oh yeah, I like that with the fifth dog in the middle. So I'm gonna cut that one out real quick. The fun part about these little applique pieces too is you don't have to do it from a solid piece of fabric. You could sew like a bunch of scraps together and then use the template to cut out a dog shape from all those scraps sewn together. That would look really cute. Give it a scrappy look. You could also, you could add like a little bow or some buttons and things, and for like the eye, or like on the template, the dog has like a necklace printed on. I don't know if you can see that, but there's like little circles that look like a little necklace, or a little collar rather. You could add buttons for it to look like that. I probably would do that, but since I'm gonna make this quilt be for Obi, I'd rather her not have, you know, tiny little buttons sewn onto her quilt where she could potentially pull them off and choke on them. That would be no good. We'll skip the buttons for this one, but that would be really cute if you made it for like a purse or for like a wall hanging. That would look really cute. Another great thing about these templates is they're not very expensive. I know a lot of times specialty templates can be very expensive, and these are not. I think the little one is $5 and the big one is $10. A very good price for templates. And they're cute. I love that they're pink. All right, so I did my 5th dog here. Yeah, I think that just really completes the look. This looks so cute. Let me bring the camera over here so you guys can see it from my angle. See? Doesn't that look so adorable? Oh my goodness, I love that so much. Now comes the fun part, when we glue the pieces down. So once you've kind of decided exactly where you want them, then you can start gluing them in place. So now I just take my glue stick and I'm gonna flip over my little dog piece here on the back. I'm just going to take the glue and just kind of smush it on there. And you don't need to use a lot. You just kind of want it to be held. And you probably, if you're doing it the way I am with the raw edges, you want to focus the glue near the edges so they're kind of held down. And just kind of get it on all parts of the applique piece. So you can see I just kind of smeared it around all over on there, but I didn't use a crazy amount of glue because you really don't need to. I'm just going to place it where I want it. Just like that. And then just use my hands and press it into place. Like that, and one is done. Now I just need to do the other 4. So I just grab my next piece and apply the glue. It's like that. Place it where I want it. If you realize after you've placed them that they're in a spot that you don't want it to be, you can just get it wet with like a wet washcloth. It should peel off, or you can probably just peel it off because we're really not using that much glue. But if you have issues peeling it off, just get a damp washcloth and lay it on there for a minute, and then you should be able to, that water should loosen the glue and you should just be able to peel it off, which is nice. So there we go. We got the first 2 down. Now I'm just going to continue doing the same thing with the other 3. Okay, I have all of my applique pieces glued down. Let me unzoom that a little bit. So we've got all of our applique pieces laid in place. So now I am going to, while the glue is drying, I am going to mark my quilting with my marker. So let's see, where do I want my little dogs? I definitely want one in between this, and I'm gonna just have all of the dogs facing in the same direction. You can mix and match if you want, but I think I'll have them all facing in the same direction. So, and then I'm just using my Dritz Mark Begun pen again, and just marking the outline of the little baby poodle. And the Dritz Mark Be Gone pen ink and the glue wash out easily in the washing machine, so you don't have to worry about that. They wash out very well. So there's our first little one marked. I don't think you can really see it. I'll put one right here. Like that. And there's our little dog right there. Okay, and I'll do another one over here. And there we go. See? There's our little dog there. So now is the fun part. I think my glue is pretty much dry. I might take it over to the ironing board and just press my applique pieces real quick with my iron. That'll kind of help the glue dry a little bit faster. And then we will get to do some quilting. So, all right, I have my quilt ready here. Do you want to see what the little applique piece is? Look how cute. Oh my goodness, this is so adorable. So precious. Obi, don't look, it's a surprise. No peeking. All right, now that I have that done, we've got it marked with our little Poodle template, which we're going to use for free motion. I need to set my machine up for free motion quilting. So I've got my screwdriver to switch out to my foot. And I've had several people ask what foot I use. I just use the free motion quilting foot that came with my Juki TL 2010Q machine. Most modern quilting machines now just come with a free motion quilting foot. It's also called a darning foot. So if you see that in the list of feet that came with your machine, that's what that is. So it's got this little spring action that helps with the tension, and then it's going to have some kind of little foot. Mine has a little circular foot. It's metal. Some have a plastic foot. Some have what's called an open toe foot, where the foot looks more like a U. So it's just going to depend on what comes with your machine, or if you want to buy an extra foot. I just haven't bought an extra foot because the feet that come with this, that work for this machine, are actually pretty expensive. Anytime I've looked for a foot that I've needed, it's been $50+, and it's expensive. So I just work with what I got, and it works fine. I just attach that to my machine. Show you here where I'm at. So I'm just attaching it to my machine with the screw. And then for free motion quilting, I like to lower my feed dogs. And guess what I learned? And I can't believe I didn't know this, because I know how a sewing machine works, but I guess I didn't put two and two together. When you lower your feed dogs for free motion quilting, you do not have to change your stitch length. Because when you're doing free motion quilting, you're in charge of the movement of the quilt and the speed of the needle. So I've always said in my tutorials, setting up your sewing machine for free motion quilting, you need to lower your feed dogs and you need to change your stitch length to 0. You, in fact, do not need to do that. You can do one or the other. So when you switch your stitch length to 0, what it's doing is it's essentially making the feed dogs not work, making them just not move, because the feed dogs are what help you with your stitch length. So if you have your stitch length, let's say at a 6, the feed dogs are moving slower. If you have your stitch length set to a 2, your feed dogs are moving faster, moving the fabric through faster to get a shorter stitch, if that makes sense. So when you move it to 0, the feed dogs aren't moving. So you can either lower your feed dogs or cover them if you have a cover, or change your stitch length to 0. I'll probably still end up doing both sometimes because it's just so ingrained in my mind. That's how I've always done it. But I digress, as they say. I have my foot here and I lowered my feed dogs and I am ready to quilt. I'm using my tried and true Coats & Clark 30 weight machine quilting thread. It's my favorite thread for quilting. And yeah, so I'll be using that. I'm just going to be using white because white goes with all the colors in my quilt. Let's get started. Well, I'll kind of explain what I'm going to do first. I'm a little too zoomed in here for my liking. Oh no, I'm going to have to move my cat from my chair and she's going to scream at me. Autumn, honey, I got to move you, okay? I know. I need the chair, okay? Oh my goodness. She's my big girl. Autumn. I know this isn't a cat channel, but I love my cats, okay? This is Autumn. She's my sweetheart. I had her in Minnesota. We brought her here from Minnesota. So she's our oldest kitty, and she's a sweetie pie. I think she's... How old are you now, huh? Like 12? She's around 12 years old, and she is a sweetheart. She's just so sweet. You know, she's never cranky and just likes to snuggle and curl up. And I've lived in this house for almost 9 years, and she just recently, I think, discovered my bedroom because she's been spending a lot of time in here recently. So it's pretty sweet. She likes to come back here and come to bed with me, and she's just pretty much always in here now. So it's really fun to have her in here. So you might see her a little bit more often now, but she's a sweetie pie. I brought her in from outside. She was a barn cat. Huh, but you got to come inside. You were so tired. Okay, I'm gonna set her to the side now. I've had several people complain about seeing cats in the video. And I'm just like, well, this is my life, okay? Oh, goodness. I'm going to turn my machine on. What we are going to do is I am just going to be tracing that marking that we made of the little dog. So I'm literally just going to be stitching the outline of the dog, tracing that line that I marked, okay? When you are free motion quilting, you do not have to go fast. You can go as slow as you want, which is great, especially for beginners, because I think a lot of times as beginners, you think you have to go really fast when quilting. That's how a lot of people show you how to quilt, where they've been doing this for a really long time, so they can just free motion quilt really, really fast, or they have it sped up. They have the they have the video sped up so it looks like they're moving really fast, but they're really not. But I like to keep it real here and tell you the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation is you can go as slow as you want and still have a beautiful product at the end. So I am going to bring the camera over here so you can actually see what I'm doing. This is the trickiest angle to try to get, for sure, is trying to show what I am stitching. Because I can't really have the camera like right here because I have to see what I'm doing. So it's a little tricky, but I try to figure it out. I try to make it as easy as possible for you guys to see. So I'm going to have the camera about like that. My dog outline is right here, but I am just going to start. Oh, and I'm going to be doing some loop-de-loops as well. So I will do an outline of my little poodle. And then once I am done with the outline, then I'm just going to start moving around with loop-de-loops. Okay, so you'll see what I mean as I go. So when I start free motion quilting, I will stitch a few stitches forward and then back, and that's a back stitch, right? And that's how I hold my stitches in place. You can bring your thread up through the top and bury the threads if you want. I just don't do that because I don't really see the point in it, because I like to just backstitch. But if you want to, you certainly can. Also, very important to note, when you are free motion quilting, make sure that your presser foot lever is down. You want that presser foot down because that's going to help with your thread tension. Okay, so let's go ahead and do those back stitches here first. There we go. I'm backstitched. I'm ready. And notice the speed at which I'm going. I will not be speeding this up for this first one, just so you can see how long it takes to do one dog outline. When I'm free motion quilting, I have my hands kind of like this around the area that I'm quilting, and I use both my hands to move the fabric. Okay, so here we go. All right, I have come to the point where I started the quilting. So now comes the fun part. So we're just going to branch off of this, off of the dog, and we're just going to start doing our really simple loop-de-loop quilting. So I am just going to kind of gently go off of here and just start doing a loop-de-loop. The loop-de-loop is a really great beginner-friendly quilting pattern. See, it's so cute because it's like you can't go wrong with it, basically. I mean, it's just, it's very easy to learn. It's a lot of fun. It's very fluid, and you can make your loops as big or as small as you want. You know, it could be super tight, very tight quilting where the stitches are really close together and everything. The loops are really close together, or you could have big swooping motions of your quilting, and that would be fine. So I really like this for beginners. I like this for myself. And it looks really sweet and cute. This is how we are going to quilt all of the rest of the quilt. We're going to quilt using the loop-de-loops. So we're going to do the outlines of our dogs, and then we're just going to do a loop-de-loop over everything else. I'm going to bring the loop-de-loop over my applique pieces, And that's going to look really cool because I'm using a solid pink fabric and I'm using white thread. So you're really going to see that quilting. It's really going to pop and it's going to look really cool. Here's my little sample quilt so you can see it. So that's what the quilting looks like on there. Wow, the lighting is not great. But the quilting on here looks really cool. Oh, there you can see it really well. So that's what our quilt is going to look like. So let me do a little bit more here. Here, I want to bring the quilting down to the applique piece so you can kind of see what that looks like. If you notice that the applique piece gets on top of your foot, I just lift up the foot and put it on top of the applique piece and then continue going. So you can see it. Looks pretty cute, huh? So as I was saying, when you're learning how to free motion quilt, you kind of, especially when you're doing a meander style quilting design, you kind of figure out what works best for you, as in kind of what direction you go. So some people will quilt in quadrants. So they'll do like the top left-hand corner and quilt all of that, and then move on to the top right-hand corner and move on to that. Some people will quilt more in a row fashion. So they quilt horizontally in a row. Some people will quilt horizontally or quilt in a row vertically. Excuse me, vertically. Some people quilt just all over the place, all over the place. And you can kind of play around with those different ways of guiding your meander and kind of figure out what feels right to you, what's the easiest, what feels most comfortable to you. It's really up to you. So, and a small project like this is a really great way to practice free motion quilting before you jump into a larger quilt, especially if free motion quilting seems intimidating to you, because I don't want you to feel intimidated when you go into it. When you go into it, you should be excited. So another thing that you can do when you're wanting to learn how to free motion quilt, you kind of pick the design you want to do. So for example, this loop-de-loop. And then I would take a piece of paper and a pen and just practice the movements of whatever design you're wanting to do, right? And what that does is it kind of helps your muscle memory and your brain kind of get used to those movements and kind of just seeing how it goes and feeling how it goes. Because this is a lot, it is a lot like drawing. You know, you're drawing with your sewing machine. So instead of using one hand, you're using both of your hands. So yeah, that's a really good tip. That's how I learned how to free motion quilt the first time. I have not looked back since. I love it. I love learning new ways to do it as well, new techniques. This template idea is really great. So I'm just going to continue on. Once I get to another dog, then I will just trace the outline of the poodle outline, right? The little one. And I will not be doing any of the loop-de-loops inside the outline of the little baby poodles, but I will be quilting on top of the large poodle appliques. Okay. I just wanted to show you what is possible with these templates. I mean, this is just two ways that you could use these. And I think it's a really cool idea. I'm really excited to try out other templates for other designs, especially for free motion quilting. If you would like to see my other free motion quilting tutorials, I have a whole playlist on them. I will link those in the description box below where you can watch those. Yeah, I'm just really excited for this. This is going to be really cute. And hello! It's the next day! So after I was done shooting that last clip you just saw, I just kind of quit for the day. I was having, not a great day, but today's a new day and I'm ready to get back to it. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep on quilting this little mini quilt. I'm going to keep doing our little loop-de-loops all over, and then when I get to another little dog, I'm going to free motion quilt the outline of that. I'm not quite sure how much of this I really need to show, but I'll keep recording for a while, and if I think of anything else to say while I'm quilting, I'll go ahead and say it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get back to quilting, and I'll be doing the loop-de-loops, and then I will show you kind of how I go into quilting one of the little dogs when I get to it. So it's really easy. It's not complicated at all. But you can just sit back and watch, or if you're sewing, sew along with me because this is very fun. But right now I'm going to get back to sewing. I'll talk to you in just a few minutes, all right? All right, we are coming up to another dog. So I'm just gonna bring my loops just organically over near the dog. So let me go ahead and do that here. So I'm very close to the dog's head. And now I am just going to just organically move the stitches closer to the head. And now I am on the line of the head. And now I'm just going to follow the line and trace it out like I did with the first one. And if you notice, each time I come to a point where I need to pivot a little bit or move, I completely stop and then I continue. Because I want my stitches to be nice and smooth and crisp. And it's okay if you don't follow the line exactly, because when you wash the quilt, the line will disappear with water. So it's okay. It's okay if there's little mistakes. Okay, and now I've met back up where I entered on the dog's head. So now I'm just going to continue organically meandering off of the dog then. So I'm just gonna move just like that and continue my loops. Another reason why I love the loop design so much for quilting is it adds a really cute kind of whimsical touch to the quilt, which especially for this fabric, it goes perfectly because it's kind of a whimsical, cutesy fabric, and the loops are just, they are just adding dimension and just really cute detail to the quilt. Now I am just going to continue quilting this. I don't think I need to record it because I showed you how to do everything that I'm doing. And once I am completely done quilting it, I will show it to you, and then we will wrap up the video and I'll tell you all about our next live. All right, I just completed the quilting on our little mini quilt. Are you ready to see? It is so cute. It is so cute. So there is the quilt. You look closely. Oh, I'm holding it upside down. How embarrassing. There's the quilting on the poodle. So adorable. There's one of the little poodles. And I just love this. I can't wait to try this on more quilts using templates to add like a little shape in with just a playful loop-de-loop meander. The possibilities really are endless with using templates like that. And I'm really excited to order some more and try it out. So I just think this looks so cute and pretty fancy looking, I think. I think this kind of looks like, you know, a long arm did it. But I just did it at my regular sewing machine. That is that. Don't forget, my link down in the description box will get you 20% off at Missouri Star Quilt Company as long as you spend over 50 bucks. That's the one thing that they have with the rules. You got to spend over $50. But you could buy stuff like stuff for an entire project and get that 20% off. So, and we used the Poodle Templates today. So we used the large one and the small one. And these turn out so good. I love these. I can't wait to use them for other stuff. It's adorable. So much fun. For our next live, I am going to host our next live next Tuesday, which is June 25th, I do believe. Where's my phone? Let me double check that just to make sure. Yes, Tuesday, June 25th, we'll do our next live. So I won't post a video that day. We will do a live instead. And that live, I will be working on my gingham square dance quilt. So this was a free pattern that I just released last week, I do believe. So if you would like this pattern, it will be linked in the description box below. It's free. You just need to give me your first name and email address and I will send this pattern to you. So it's a really easy pattern. It comes together really quickly because we use some strip piecing techniques. And come to the live if you can. If not, watch the replay because I got a cool new tool to cut fabric and I'm really excited to try it out. And that's going to be really fun to try. So if you can make it, come to the live. So we will do it on Tuesday, the 25th, June 25th, and let's do it at 6 p.m. Central Time again, okay? I will set up a listing for it ahead of time so you can click to be reminded of it if you would like. So that'll be really fun. I'm really looking forward to that. I just noticed some really cute quilting. I did not even mean to do this, you guys, on this quilt. Look, I did there's like little string or little stitches coming out right above where she's holding on to her swing. So it looks like she's swinging from the quilting. I didn't even mean to do that. That is so cute. Okay, anyways, so yes, June 25th, 6 p.m. We'll do another live. We'll do it for about an hour. We'll be working on that quilt, and I might talk to you guys about a couple of other things also. We'll see how the evening goes and stuff, but we will actually be working. I won't just be sitting there gabbing the whole time, hopefully, unless that's just what happens. We'll see. But just thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, like this video, liking it helps me a lot because then it pushes the video out to more people and the video gets watched more, which is really great. So just thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.